Hello there amazing viewers and subscribers, welcome to a brand new exciting Doctor Who topic video for today. So for this video, it is a response to a question to another Cypher guy. So he did a video basically asking who is your favourite modern Doctor in Doctor Who. And I would reply to him who's my top two favourite modern Doctors on Doctor Who, because I just love my top two Doctors the most. And I actually thought it was actually quite interesting if I literally do a video ranking all of the modern Doctors from my least favourite to my all-time favourite and basically explain why they are in certain places. So I'm not including the War Doctor or the Fugitive Doctor in this list. I am sorry. I mean, the fact the War Doctor is before the Ninth Doctor, and mainly that basically, as we all know, the Fugitive Doctor is before Hartnell Doctor, I can't really put them in this list. So basically, because they've only appeared like in a couple of stories or a couple of episodes, where the War Doctor only appeared in The Name of the Doctor and of course The Day of the Doctor and a little bit of Night of the Doctor, where the Fugitive Doctor appeared in Fugitive of the Dadu, Once and Future and The Power of the Doctor. And I just really can't base them in how short their Doctors are on screen. So I'm literally including in this list basically 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and of course 15. I'm really talking about basically how I rank these Doctors and what makes them so different in my retrospect, and what I enjoy from them and what do I least enjoy from them. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So in 7th place, I had to put the 13th Doctor, aka Jodie Whittaker. Now, I'm not a big Jodie hater. I know there's people out there that really hate on the 13th Doctor. I actually quite like the 13th Doctor. It's very different. She's got some great stories in her run. I'm looking basically at Spyfall Parts 1 and 2, The Haunting of Villa Doty, Fugitive of the Dadu, Revelation of the Daleks, and then of course Flux, basically from Halloween Apocalypse all the way down to Village of the Angels, and of course basically The Power of the Doctor is another good one. The 13th Doctor is basically in last place to me because she feels more like a mannequin between 10 and 11. She doesn't really feel like her own kind of Doctor. And it feels a little bit different because specifically in Series 11, she feels like, oh, she's just mannequin 10 and 11. It doesn't really... There's not really like Doctor moments in her. She does have some good Doctor moments in The Woman Who Fell to Earth for the favourite story. She's literally making her own sonic screwdriver, which is a very Doctorish thing to do. And I actually quite enjoy it. And of course, picking her own outfit at the end, towards the end of the episode. But apart from that, she doesn't really seem much like an actual version of the Doctor. She's very different. Now, the Doctor can actually cut themselves off their companions, which we see a lot in the classic era, which by William Hartnell's performance, which is absolutely brilliant. So the 13th Doctor is a little bit like basically what became before her, but in a different retrospect sort of way. And I don't think she pulled... It's not Jodie Whittaker's fault. I really think the writing didn't help her pull off her Doctor that well. And that's the thing I have to say about the 13th Doctor. I'm really looking forward to how she's going to be in Big Finish. She might move up in the list thanks to Big Finish a bit later on next year. But at the moment, she is actually in 7th place just because she doesn't really feel much like her own type of Doctor. She just feels a bit much like Tennant and Smith. But specifically the bit where nearly every episode she's there waving a Sonic about. And not in a really interesting sort of way like you see for 10 and 11. She's just there kind of like waving about, oh, I've got a sonic screwdriver, like that. And I kind of wish we had more from the 13th Doctor. I wish we had more character growth from this incarnation of the Doctor. So yeah, in 7th place we have the 13th Doctor. In 6th place, now I am sorry to all you big David Tennant fans out there, but in 6th place it is the 10th Doctor. Now, the reason the 10th Doctor is basically this low is because he doesn't feel like a Time Lord. He feels more like a human Doctor, not an alien Doctor who's from the outer space. And basically, you know, has been most Doctors. He doesn't really have many Doctor moments for me. I do quite like his Doctor. He's just got some great episodes in his run. But he just feels more like human sort of side of the Doctor, basically, where he's literally falling in love with Rose. He's going around basically stringing Martha along. He goes around kissing different women. It feels more like, oh, I'm the Doctor. Look at me, I'm such a playboy now. I'm literally going to go around smooching everybody. And it's not really the Doctor to me. The Doctor does not need to go around falling in love playing with human girls. Ugh, like that. It's not, there's no need for it. The Doctor is an alien from Gallifrey. He's a Time Lord. He doesn't need to go around falling in love with humans, basically doing whatever he's doing with human girls and basically, you know, flirting with them. Kind of having a sort of a love triangle episode halfway through his very first season. But I do like Series 4. Series 4 is where I feel Tennant is on his main strive. Again, he still feels much like a human Doctor, but not a Time Lord Doctor. But he does have some great moments towards the end of his run with the whole Time Lord Victorious, where we see him snap. And he does have some great dark moments, specifically when he's punishing the family of Blood, wrapping the father in chains, throwing the mother of mine into a black hole. Daughter of mine trapped in a mirror, and son of mine trapped in suspension animation as a scarecrow. So I like how he does have those darker moments. The way he treats the family of Blood is actually quite interesting. I do quite like that, because it's for a human Doctor. That does seem a little bit out of place for the 10th Doctor. Now, if it was like somebody like the 9th or 11th Doctors, no, I don't really think that would be so out of place. But it does feel a little bit out of place for the 10th Doctor. But the reason, again, he's in literally 6th place is because of the whole romantic side of him. I just don't like romance in Doctor Who. I'm sorry to say that, but I absolutely prefer classic Who because there's no romance whatsoever. And then, of course, when I did the revival, when you get to 10, this is where the whole romantic sort of side of the Doctor starts to really play into it. And it just absolutely bugs the hell out of me. Because I used to be a big 10th Doctor fan growing up, because I did really used to like the 10th Doctor. But when you're literally growing up out of your early teenagers and coming into your late teenagers, and you see like doctors like Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, and when you go into when you're actually an adult and you're just rewatching that entire era in one way, it just feels so out of place. It feels so cringy. So yeah, that's why the 10th Doctor is in 6th place for me. And that's the one thing I have to say. I do feel sorry for putting 10 down this low, because 10 has really grown on me through Big Finish. And I have to say that the 10th Doctor has really grown for me through Big Finish with Catherine Tate, and of course in Dalek Universe 1. And of course the Out of Time series, the trilogy. I actually do quite like that, but I kind of wish we have more of a different side of 10. Not this romantic, hippy-dippy sort of love going on and stuff. So yeah, I'm literally going to get off the topic before I angry at any more people. In 5th place, we have the 9th Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston. Now, I actually quite like Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, because he reminds me so much a little bit of Tom Baker's Doctor, with the really serious moments. And then, of course, he does that grin. There's something about the grin with the 9th Doctor really calls like Tom Baker vibes to me. Absolutely brilliant. And the way he literally talks like a proper scientist sometimes in some episodes, like in with the anti-plastic, that's something the 3rd Doctor will think of. And the way the 9th Doctor really is, he does give me fantastic vibes to classic Doctors, which is one thing, which is why he's in 5th place. But the only reason he is literally in 5th place is because I want more from this Doctor. We have only had 13 episodes, aka 10 stories with this Doctor. Thank God for Big Finish for giving us more 9th Doctor, because I'm absolutely loving Big Finish audios, and I really love listening to the 9th Doctor adventures. And it makes me really wish we had another series with Christopher Eccleston's Doctor. I really wish we had one more. Maybe Series 2 would have been so much better with Eccleston than Tennant. I'm sorry to say that, but I really do think Series 2 would have been so much better with Christopher Eccleston than David Tennant. And that's the one thing I have to say. In an Ultimate Universe, you know, Christopher Eccleston could have stayed for one more season or one more series, and it would have been so much better than what we had with David Tennant. Because I love Series 3 and 4, and I do think they are Tennant's best, and I really do think they're Tennant's best. But I really think Christopher Eccleston would have been so good in Series 2. I really think. Imagine the 9th Doctor against the Cybermen, and of course the Council Skaro and the army between the Daleks and the Cybermen. Imagine Doomsday being his last story, and of course he has to say goodbye to Rose, and basically, instead of her being trapped in the parallel universe, you could even have her die. And he literally loses a companion, and at the loss of that and the loss of the battle, he decides to go on to regenerate. That would have been perfect ending for the 9th Doctor. And I really wish we kind of had that, I really think. So basically in 4th place, I had to put the 14th Doctor. And so why have I put 14th Doctor over 10? Well, I actually quite enjoy 14 over 10. Now 10, as I said, it's more of this romantic sort of side of the Doctor. It's more playing with the romance sort of side of the Doctor, where 14 doesn't do any of that, which is something I absolutely love about 14. He doesn't do any of that. He knows he's got an old face back. He's trying to work out why he's got an old face back through basically the whole 60th anniversary trilogy. And the fact, really, we have some great stories like with Beat the Meep, and of course with the Doctor saying, I don't know, just think about it, why would there be another two-eyed alien here? And of course basically putting the wig on when he's literally pretending to be a court, one of the court hearing people that we see the Fourth Doctor wear, where the Fourth Doctor put a wig on basically in the Stones of Blood. And I do kind of get good vibes to that with Tom Baker, which is something I like about 14. And I really like how he's got a little bit more darker than 10 did. Just because of everything that happened basically in his 11th, 12th and mainly 13th incarnations with the Flux, finding out that they're the Timeless Child, not an actual who they thought they were. And David Tennant really placed 14th Doctor so wow, and so much better than what he did with 10. I actually do prefer 14 over 10. If you ask me any day of the week, whoa, what do you think of David Tennant as the Doctor? Depends which incarnation. If it's the 10th Doctor, nil. If you think basically as 14, then it's 10 out of 10. And I'm sorry to say that, I actually do quite enjoy 14 over 10, even though we only have him for what, like 3 episodes, 1 mini-sode and a comic book. Which is something that's pretty cool, because I do love Liberation of the Daleks. It is such a good comic book, but I do absolutely quite enjoy 14. And David Tennant gives us that great performance where he's there literally banging on the back of the ship, where basically he's just found out that he was tricked by the, you know, the copycat aliens. I can't remember what they're called. But yeah, and of course, when you see him come across the Toymaker, you see the horror in his face when he goes, "Donna, get back to the TARDIS." What? Get back to the TARDIS. Oh, he is remembering me. And of course, I absolutely love that, because I also love the 60th anniversary just because of the mentions to Amy, Clara and Bill. Basically, what actually happened after, basically, she last saw the Doctor in his 10th incarnation's face. And of course the Flux as well. I just absolutely love it. I really do love it. It's absolutely brilliant, and I absolutely love 14. He's absolutely a great incarnation. I wish we could have more with 14, but I get why we had 3 specials, and I actually quite enjoy 14 for what it is. He is so much better than 10, and I have to say that. In 3rd place, I had to put the 15th Doctor. Now, I'm actually quite enjoying Ncuti Gatwa's performance as the Doctor. He reminds me so much of the 2nd and 11th Doctors, which is something I absolutely love, because I always love watching a new Doctor and seeing if I can see echoes of their past incarnations. And in Ncuti's performance, I see a lot of Matt Smith, I see a lot of Patrick Troughton, I see a little bit of John Pertwee in there, specifically with his type of style, with the purple velvet jump jacket that we see him wear in Boom. I really do get a lot of 3rd Doctor vibes from Ncuti's Doctor, specifically with the anti-grav gloves that we see him use in the church on Ruby Road. And I do see other predecessors in him. I see a little bit of 10 in his style with the whole long leather jacket that we see him wear in the church on Ruby Road, Space Babies, and towards the end of Empire of Death. But I do see a lot of other Doctors in him. I really do see a lot of things, and I do think Ncuti Gatwa is so good as the 15th Doctor. I really am enjoying the 15th Doctor. I really am looking forward to it. He might move into number 2 at some point, but I don't think he will. I think he will always be at number 3 for me, because even though people already call Ncuti a crying Doctor, when basically, again, if you look at 10, he cried quite a lot. If you look at 11, he cries quite a lot. So 15 doesn't cry that much more compared to 10 and basically 11, because they cried quite a lot in their whole era in general. But the 15th Doctor, I absolutely am enjoying Ncuti. I cannot wait for season 41, aka season 2. I really cannot wait to see what's going to be in store for the 15th Doctor. I'm really looking forward to when we get season 3 announced. I'm really looking forward to when we ever get season 4. I am looking forward to it, and I'm absolutely loving Ncuti as the Doctor. There's just so much they've done with 15, and it just feels like a whole breath of fresh air, a whole different incarnation, because in his performance with 15, I see a lot of Patrick Troughton's Doctor in him, because if you think about the 2nd Doctor, he's the one that basically wants to get on with the adventure, carry on with his travels. Basically, if something's wrong, yeah, I'm going to interfere, you know, and blah, 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 blah. And the 15th Doctor, I do kind of see that, basically, where he's literally wants to have fun. He wants to see the universe. He wants to interfere and try and help people like he does in Dot and Bob always there, literally begging the racist people to basically let them help him, but you know, but they said no to him. And of course, I really like the 15th Doctor. He's absolutely brilliant. I love Rogue. Rogue is actually a good episode for 15. I know some people hate it for the whole relationship between the Doctor and Rogue. I look past that. I really do look past it because I do like the cosplaying aliens. I like Ncuti's outfit. Again, the one thing about Ncuti's outfits, they remind me so much of other Doctors. So when you think of literally his outfit from The Legend of Ruby Sunday and of course Empire of Death, with the whole white t-shirt, blue jeans, the black boots, and of course the leather jacket. The leather jacket gives me Christopher Eccleston vibes, but when you compare it to the rest of the outfit, it just reminds me so much of Paul McGann's outfit from Big Finish. But all he needs is literally a dark blue jacket, and he's literally like dressing as Paul McGann in Dark Eyes for Big Finish. So yeah, Ncuti's outfit reminds me so much of all the other Doctors. So there's some of it reminds me a bit of 10. His performance reminds me so much of the 2nd and 11th Doctors. I just absolutely love him, and I really love 15. 15 has definitely took place in my 3rd favourite modern Doctor over the last couple of months, because I just really enjoy 15, and I cannot wait to do this episode. I cannot wait for the next season of him. So yeah, I have to say I am absolutely enjoying Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor. I really am. Number 2. So in 2nd place, so this is my 2nd favourite modern Doctor. It is Matt Smith. The Doctor have just brought his whole era in one box set, and Peter Capaldi is next, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm hoping to get the Capaldi one a little bit later this month or early next month at some point. But I actually do quite enjoy Matt Smith's run. So Series 5 and Series 7B, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There is a little bit of Series 6 and 7 where I just go, oh, I don't really quite enjoy that, but I do like the storytelling, specifically the early part of Series 6, basically from basically the Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon, The Curse of the Black Spot, The Doctor's Wife, you know, the Ganger episode, and When a Good Man Goes to War. Now, the 11th Doctor, again, I do see echoes of other Doctors in his performances, which is something I absolutely have pointed out quite a few times, because with the 11th Doctor, I see a lot of the 2nd Doctor in him, but then when you go into more like that darker persona where he's literally building an army, it's something I could imagine the 7th Doctor doing. And when he literally does that threaten, today's not a good day to find out why I have so many. When he's that darker side of him, it really gives me like McCoy sort of vibes and Baker vibes from Colin Baker. It just gives me that. And I really like the way how he literally captures the young man, an old man in a young man's body. And I really love how hypergenic the 11th Doctor is. He's just so good in the role Matt Smith is. And I absolutely do enjoy him as the 11th Doctor. And he has actually moved up to be my 2nd favourite Doctor over the last month, because I have been revisiting a lot of the Matt Smith era. Series 5 is definitely my favourite Matt Smith series, followed by Series 7, followed by Series 6. But there's just so much more about the 11th Doctor I absolutely do enjoy. So I do have to put the 11th Doctor in 2nd place. I just think Matt Smith is just brilliant as the role as the 11th Doctor. I really love that the fact we have him looking so much like Patrick Troughton's Doctor with the bow tie, I would say the tree jacket, but you know, the 2nd Doctor had his own type of style, the 11th Doctor has his own type of style. My favourite outfit for 11 is basically his Series 7B outfit, but I still quite like it, and it's absolutely brilliant. So, in number 1, we are now talking about my favourite modern Doctor. So, my favourite modern Doctor is Mr. Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor. And there's just something about the 12th Doctor's era I absolutely genuinely love. It feels new, but it feels like classic Who once again. And this is where Doctor Who does feel like it's back at its stride. It does feel like classic Who, which is something I actually do quite enjoy. Specifically Series 10, because it's more earthbound, and Series 10 really reminds me a lot of the Pertwee era, with basically the Doctor being on Earth and different aliens are invading the planet. And of course he's got to try and help he has to ask Missy for help against the monks. Now, the 12th Doctor really reminds me so much of classic Doctors in his style. So the type of styling really calls Pertwee vibes to me. And that's the thing, it really just calls John Pertwee vibes to me, which is something I absolutely adore. So I'm trying not to yawn because I am a bit tired. Where basically he reminds me so much of John Pertwee's Doctor. He also reminds me a bit of Colin Baker's darkness. The darkness I've been seeing Colin Baker have in season 22 before they kind of lighten him for season 23. And then when you get to series 9, I see a lot of Tom Baker's Doctor in him, where he's literally doing like the smile and stuff. It really gives me like Tom Baker vibes. Peter Capaldi does. And that's the thing, he really was with the whole darker side as well. He really reminds me so much like Colin Baker. His style reminds me so much of John Pertwee. And of course the little smile he does reminds me of Tom Baker. And then when you get into series 10, oh boy, we get into a good Doctor. Because it feels like they've just basically rolled into what they had in series 8. Basically a little bit of 3, a little bit of 4 and a little bit of 6 in those 2 series. And rolled it into 1. And Capaldi is at his best. I absolutely love series 10 as Capaldi's very best season. It's absolutely his best season. I just absolutely love it, and I really enjoy Peter Capaldi's time as the Doctor. I wish we had more from him. Imagine him under Chris Chibnall. I think, yeah, series 11 would have been a little bit different, but not as badly different as it was for Jodie Whittaker. But yeah, that is basically how I rank the modern Doctors. And let me know in the comments, how do you rank the modern Doctors? Which is your favourite Doctor for the modern era? And let me know. Please do like, subscribe, and share, and join me for more awesome Doctor Who content. Thank you for being magnificent viewers and subscribers.